Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New coming at you this Tuesday morning, bright and early. Just want to say good morning to everybody. Send positive vibrations to everyone. Now that we got that out the way, let's get down to business. So as we all know, and I don't know if everybody saw it last night because it was on League Pass, but I'm pretty sure most of y'all streamed the game since y'all helped me to the knowledge of that. So let's just get right into it. So key takeaways from the game last night. As we all know, the Lakers came out and laid an egg against the New York Knicks last night. And before I even get into any details of the game, I just want to say, I kind of predicted that this was going to happen. I didn't say anything about it, but when I was thinking about it yesterday afternoon, because I couldn't remember who they were playing, I said, oh, they playing the Knicks because they just played Brooklyn. Whatever. I'm gonna call them New Jersey Nets until they win the championship. They New Jersey. No, I'm just playing. So they was playing against Brooklyn or whatever, and then I thought about it. Hold on, you mean to tell me the Lakers is in New York for the weekend, for the whole these few days? They might have got into a few things, and I know New York is under COVID restrictions. I got family that stay up in Harlem and whatnot, but what I'm telling y'all is when you have time to spend in New York City, sometimes you might divulge in a little bit of the finer things in life that may just take your mind off the game of basketball just a little bit, unless you're in the playoffs and you are really focused. So I think what happened was LeBron had them boys amped up and they was really ready to play on Saturday in prime time against the Brooklyn Nets. And I think they came out and took the New York Knicks for granted just a little bit, and came out and got played like Willie Lump and thought that they was gonna be able to just say, it's the Knicks, we got it, we just handled the Nets. So, but what they did not know is that Tom Thibodeau is a great defensive coach, and just like the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks are a great defensive team. And for the first time this season, in the short span that we've had Andre Drummond with the Los Angeles Lakers, we saw another team come out and actually look like they game plan for Andre Drummond defensively to make him ineffective, or to kind of neutralize him, so to speak. So basically what I noticed, what New York was doing, taking away the pick and roll. On any pick and roll, they was diving in just to make sure that Drummond wasn't getting any easy shots. They was really denying the entry pass. He wasn't getting it in any of his sweet spots whatsoever. Whenever he did get the ball, they came with the quick double team from the weak side, and Dre was really unable to kick it back out to the open man. It was just great defense. And I will say it was bad offense as well by the Lakers, but it was great defense by the Knicks. And anytime Taj Gibson, who is the backup for the Knicks, and we remember Taj Gibson in his days in Chicago when he played for Tom Thibodeau back then with D Rose. So now you kind of got a old school Bulls kind of coming together under Tibbs, bringing back D Rose and Taj Gibson. But Taj Gibson, man, people always underappreciated him because he was never an offensive threat. But to be honest, Taj Gibson really remind me of a player like a Dennis Rodman, because he really get after it on the boards, and he really get after you on defense. And that's what he played a very integral part in the victory for the New York Knicks last night. And I mean, Andre Drummond really was ineffective. Montrezl Harrell was really ineffective. And you're talking about, what was it? Andre Drummond was 0 for 4. I think he had a couple of points out free throws, but he was 0 for 4. Didn't have not one field goal. Montrezl Harrell was 0 for 3. And I think it was Harrell who was 0 for 4. And it was Drummond who was 0 for 3. So think about it. Montrezl Harrell is one of your high energy guys. You expect at least get at least 10 to 15 points from him coming off the bench. So they negated them 10 or 15 points. He was getting the shot blocked when he tried to make his attempts. They were really converging down hard on him as far as double teaming in the paint and knowing exactly where to come from. Looked like they had watched a lot of film in preparation of what they were going to do. And you have to really think about this. The Knicks are really fighting for playoff positioning in the East. They want to get ahead and not be in that play-in tourney. So the Knicks are really fighting hard to do that. Of course, we all know Julius Randle is having an excellent season. I will say this, though. I don't understand why, if it looked like the New York Knicks came out and game plan against Andre Drummond to totally take him out of the game, and then when Harold comes in and he's really not being effective at all, why not go to the Spaniard? You told him you were going to give him minutes and to stay ready. Why not go to the big Spaniard? So when you finally did bring Marc Gasol into the fourth quarter, you was down by like 17, maybe 17 or 18 points when you brought in Marc Gasol. And then all of a sudden you went on a run and you cut it down to single digits. You cut it down to 9. Then you kind of let it bloom back up and get out of control a little bit to 15. But it seems like with Mark, at least he was spreading the floor. I know he did come in and hit a three-pointer right away. But to me, you have to be able to coach to see during the game. You can't just have one game plan and stick to it, because obviously the New York Knicks were prepared for what it was that you were trying to do offensively. And the thing is, you were not playing the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets, as we all know, have very poor defense. They rank 25th in the league in defense. They're not a type team that's going to run you off the three-point line. They're not the type team that's going to rotate out, because you know the Lakers like the extra pass. You want to swing it around the key. The team like the Clippers, when they played them a couple of weeks ago, as you can see, the Lakers were broke from the three-point line. It's because they were not getting easy looks. You understand what I'm telling you? So since the Lakers weren't getting easy looks, then the shot wasn't falling. But when they played Brooklyn, they were getting a lot more easy looks, and then they started to heat up, and the shot started to fall. Now, playing a team like New York, who's playing great defense, those shots just were not going to continue to fall for the Lakers, and that was the case in last night. But when you can effectively be a good coach and you say, well, you know what, this is not working, you know, how about let's try the lineup that he said he was going to try, but still to this point has not done it. How about let's bring in Mark and Trez as the backup, slide Trez to the 4 and Mark to the 5, and then we can play some size, and we can give New York a look that they haven't seen yet, that they're not prepared for yet, and they don't know how to combat this defensively. You understand what I'm saying? Because then you can slide Mark out. That way you're going to bring their center out of the paint to give your guards more room to operate, and then you're also going to be able to spread the floor, but you still keep Trez down there where he can work the boards. But I mean, Taj Gibson and Julius Randle damn near out-rebounded the whole Lakers team. I mean, they had like 9 or 10 boards, and Montrezl Harrell and Drummond didn't have any. Like what? Like I said, I know you in New York. I don't know what it was that made them feel like they didn't have the energy or what was going on, but we all know it is New York City. So, you know, I'm not trying to make any excuses for them, and I want to give the Knicks all the credit in the world because they played a hell of a game. But I think this one falls directly on the players. And I want to say this too while I'm at it. I do want to say this while I'm at it. Kyle Kuzma, I mean, when he was hurt and not playing, as you can see, the Lakers were doing damn good. But I don't know what it is about Kyle offensively. He's so streaky. Like every time he shoots the ball, let's just put it like this. When he shoot a 3 and it goes in, you surprised. Like when Kevin Durant or Harden shoot a 3 and they miss it, you surprised. But when Kuzma shoot it and it go in, you surprised, because honestly, every time he shoot it, I'll be like, damn. And it don't just be a regular miss. You know, and he got hot for 1 second in the fourth where he hit a couple of threes. So don't get me wrong, but I think Kuzma turned into a volume shooter, and I think the Lakers definitely were more than capable of winning that game. I just feel like that they were outcoached. I mean, the game was pretty close in the first half, back and forth, but in the third quarter is when the Knicks seemed to take control, and at that point, Frank Vogel should have did something with his lineup when he could see that the Knicks clearly had them under control and had a good plan for them defensively. So it seemed like to me, Kuzma come in sometimes and makes the offense run stagnant, whereas to me, THT is already better than Kuzma. You know, and the thing about it is you could have cleared up some salary cap, but yet you extended Kuzma for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I know he got potential. I know he gives the Lakers a lot of length, which that's what they need, but I think they already have length and they don't need that from Kuzma. And I'm not trying to say get rid of him, but at this point, I just don't see the great value that he adds. He might come in and get hot on a couple of games, but I don't think he's somebody that you can consistently depend on in the playoffs yet, especially when you're going to be going against some other great teams. So I hope Vogel is paying attention. I know in the press conference last night he was asked, you know, Keith been playing really well. Keith been hitting a lot of threes as of late, shooting a high clip from three. Also been having pretty active hands on the defensive end of the floor, but, you know, he said that Keith is going to go to the backup power forward role once AD and LeBron come back, and that Keith would be the backup power forward and Trez will be the backup center. Not sure if I necessarily agree with that. I think there's a lot of different ways you could do the rotation. Unfortunately, the Lakers just had a lot of injuries this year and things to do with COVID, in which I feel that they haven't had a chance to really work out a lot of the kinks. So it's only going to be so many games left in the month of May. So it's time for them to go ahead and start trying to figure it out. Hopefully AD can come back within another week or so. And then they said LeBron will be soon to follow. So we all know what LeBron posted on Instagram as far as the storm coming and everything. So with that being said, I don't think it's going to be too far off to see LeBron James come back. And with that being said, we all know what's going to happen. So I'm going to dive deep into, you know, playoff predictions because it's still early. But one other thing I do want to mention, is the Denver Nuggets took that L last night. So as long as the Denver Nuggets took that L by Steph Curry, I want to say Steph dropped 50 on them if I'm not mistaken, went ham last night, even though they under 500. So we appreciate that Golden State, and we appreciate those bottom feeders of the West all beating up on one another, because as we can see, Portland continues to lose. Denver, they'll continue to lose. You know, Dallas, they'll continue to lose as they all beat up on each other. And that way the Lakers can hover right around there in that 4th or 5th spot. It would have been nice for the Lakers to go ahead and win last night, because if they could have went ahead and won last night, then they possibly could have moved up into that 4th position. But they got Charlotte tonight. I think, you know, Lonzo Ball is out for the season. So I think this is a game that they can definitely win. It's a winnable game while they on this East Coast trip. They need to go ahead and handle this business tonight. So with that being said, I think the Lakers will come out and win tonight, and hopefully within the next week or so, we can see the return of Anthony Davis as we start to prepare for the postseason. So just write in the comments below what you thought about last night's game. If you felt like Vogel should have went to Mark sooner. I know a lot of you don't have love for Mark, but you know, if something's not working, then you need to switch it up sometimes. And Mark, you know, he was playing tremendous the past couple of games, coming out playing hella energy and filling up the stat sheet as far as on the defensive side of the ball with active hands, as far as getting steals and also making some great looks from assists. So just let me know what you think about that and what you think the Lakers' chances are tonight. I think they have a pretty good chance to go ahead and win tonight. And then also, I want to get into some good games that's coming up. I know Thursday night, we got some good games coming up on TNT that we can talk more about maybe tomorrow. So as always, this has been your boy B New. I want to say right on to the real. I want to say much love to the haters, and I'm out.